Friday night, I want a Chippy Tea. Chippy Tea, Chippy Tea, I want a Chippy Tea. Oh, you can give me posh, no, she don't agree with me. I don't want lobster thermidor with raspberry coulis. It's Friday night, I'm within me rights, I want a Chippy Tea.
So, here we go. Welcome to Chippy Tea, another episode. We're on episode number 22 now. We are knocking it out of the park because it's just a nice, gentle, wandering chat about last week, basically. What happened in my life, Tony P from Palm Print, and
Danny Donald from Flipper Sweet Print Coat.
Oh, we've gone to Danny Donald now. All right.
Well, you did an alternate version, so I thought I'd swap it as well.
So, me and Danny ring ourselves up on a Friday night, and we have a bit of a chat about what the hell we did this week, what went right, what went wrong, what caused us to sit in the corner, holding his hands, rocking and crying like that, and what made us run around naked. So I'm going to throw it straight out to you, Danny. This week, what sort of a week have you had? What's driven you crazy? And has anything wanted you to run around naked?
No, I don't often have that desire, to be honest.
Right. Just me.
Just you. Just you and the old Speedos. But, yeah. Just really busy. After the other week when I messed... Well, debatable whether I messed up an order, but I had to reprint an entire order.
You had an issue.
I had an issue. I've been doing that, done it, it's out the door, gone, dusted, washed my hands with it. But that's obviously caused it. Really happy. I'm really happy anyway. I mean,
Customer happy?
We'll find out tomorrow.
All right, okay.
Anxious
night tonight, yeah.
Yeah. So
what's that done? Has that knocked your production schedule? Have you got a schedule in your head? Has that knocked you back 4 days, or have you just worked longer days?
Both. Knocked me back, and then I'm working early morning, up, crack of dawn, 7-ish. Here till 8:30, 9.
Yeah.
Every day, all day now. And it's going to be like that till Christmas now, to be honest. I've just got to...
So have you closed your order book now? Have you done?
Probably tomorrow I'm going to make a announcement on Instagram and say, right, that's it, I'm done now. There's nothing else I could probably squeeze one little job in, but they're not going to get it till Christmas Eve, so it's sort of... They can have it if they want it. But
that's good. That's a good thing, though, isn't it? You know you're going to be busy for next... That's 3 weeks. 3 weeks, is it?
Yeah, it's about 3 or 4 weeks, isn't it? Well, it's 3 weeks, really, because you want to get it all out on time. I mean, in a way, fantastic. And I've really had a great end to year. After such an up and down weird year, where I've had patches where I'm like, bloody hell, what's going on? Now, this total opposite end of the spectrum, we've just gone crazy. Filled his order books up. But now you think, well, it's fantastic. But also now we stop making money. Like, literally, now, tomorrow, making no money. Because nobody's going to order until next year.
All the work that you've got in, do you charge before they order?
Yeah. Everything up front.
And does anybody moan at that? Because I'm going back 10, 15 years, and everybody used to moan, and everybody wanted to, I'll pay you when I pick them up. I can remember working for a place, and we had like a collections bay. Collections bay. The owner would come in and go, what's all them? Yeah. They're covered in dust. Oh, yeah, the people that have walked into the shop and at front desk and placed an order.
Yeah.
All right, well, who are they? And you go, guy with ginger hair. What were his name? You know, Bob knows him from down Weaver's Arms. I don't know who he is. What did he order? He ordered 20 shirts with his mate's name on. Did you take a deposit? No, because he said he knows you.
Did he smell a rum at the time?
When was this? I think it was last year. It's dead money. So we took a policy decision then, about 10, 15 years ago, to go, right, okay, everybody pays up front. Not a deposit, pays up front. Now, this is sort of as the internet was just coming in.
Yeah.
So people were like, don't like it. But do you know what? We all do it. I was talking to somebody today, and they said exactly the same thing. Selling stuff online now, it's so much easier because you get paid up front.
It's a whole job taken out of your hands, chasing up payments.
Plus,
job done.
It's safe. Everybody trusts online payments now. there was a time where you won't put your credit card details in because you won't see anybody again, other than that Prince of Nigeria that promised to swap 10 million rubles for you.
I'm still waiting for a bloody castle. That'll be inherited.
So, it's changed, and I think it's for the better. Certainly for people like you, people like me. I get paid online now. It's so easy. It's just a click of a button.
Isn't it? Since the day I started, I was always, there was no hesitation in my head. Payment up front, or I'm not touching a shirt. Just the way it is. But I was even going back only a handful of years. I mean, I've not heard of anybody doing it now, but I was surprised back then to find out that there were printers who still work on a deposit system
or an invoice system. Yeah,
I'm thinking a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. So I don't know if anybody's still doing it now. But that shocked me because I thought it was just sort of standard. Why the hell would you touch any work until you've been paid up front in my head? What's the point of giving yourself the job of chasing people for payments or employing someone to do it?
And you've got to pay for the shirts, you know what I mean? You've got to cover your costs somehow.
Oh, yeah.
You can't finance somebody's job.
No, I mean, if you get an order for hoodies, I mean, the hoodies cost more than the printing anyway. I mean, what
we're talking for a bog standard Gildan hoodie now, between 8 and 10 quid?
I don't really touch Gildan too often, but yeah, I think you're over a tenner now.
What do you use? Stanley Stella?
As a bog standard, the all we do is, and I always try to push for AS Colour or Stanley Stella or Continental. I always try to push for them three first.
Yeah.
But quite often, you're always going to get customers who want the most basic, cheap. And I always find that all we do is sort of a good balance of cheap.
A good starting point. A
good basic hoodie, plenty of colour options, good quality. You can't knock them. They're not the best quality. They're not stunning. They don't bloody mind, but they're all right. They do the job at a reasonable price. They're probably not the cheapest, but they're not far off. But they're about £10 odd, something like that.
Yeah, it's about 10 quid for a bog standard normal everyday hoodie.
Yeah,
You know, you don't want to be financing 20 of them.
No, you don't. So it's a funny thing. I know people used to just work on a deposit system, but now you've got the new system that's probably going to take on, or it certainly seems to be popping up every now and again, where you've got places like ClearPay, or was it ClearPay? Klarna, stuff like that.
Klarna. I know you were going to say Klarna when you said that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're offering it for no, aren't they?
Well, I don't know.
Up to you. You get paid. You get paid straight away.
Yeah.
Then they do all the debt chasing, and they stick the 40% on, or whatever it was.
Well, if it's 40%, we can fucking do one. But it has rattled round my head. Maybe that's not a terrible idea.
Not to you. You don't pay the extra 40%. The customer does.
Oh, really? Right. All right. Yeah, well, that makes total sense. Of course, yeah.
You charge them 100 quid.
Yeah.
And they say, right, if you take Klarna, it's 12 payments of a tenner.
Yeah, right.
And you go, hang on. 12 payments. Okay, so they give you your 100 quid.
Yeah.
And they take 12 payments of a tenner. So they make the money that way. That's how they do it.
That wouldn't be a bad option to explore. I reckon you get people to take it up. Every now and again, I'm sure.
I don't think, if you're going to buy a service like, you sell a service, really, you don't really want to be paying on never, do you?
Yeah, but you always get people to do that, don't you?
Yeah, I suppose so.
The next big brand, well, I don't want 10 T-shirts.
Yeah.
Going to take off, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Wait, will I take off? I don't really remember like Wonga and stuff like that when it was like 1,300%. It was crazy. So I don't want to go back to them days. Don't want to make it too easy to
no, you don't
finance or lend money.
No, I've always been a bit of an anti-finance of any type. Everything in this business has come out of my pocket in cash.
Yeah,
not literal cash.
If you can't afford to pay for it now, if you can't afford to pay for it now in cash, don't buy it.
Yeah. I've always
it's a good idea.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people believe that they're only as rich as the amount they can borrow, though.
Yeah, well, that's just a new thing, isn't it? Everybody's got credit cards up to eyeballs and all the rest of it.
A line of credit is now a status symbol.
It is a weird thing, isn't it? You've got these young kids and like got all the gear and Gucci bags and all this shit. I'm like, Jesus, just live within your means.
It's taken me 30 years to pay all my debts off. Houses and shit like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but at least it's a house. It's not a Gucci bag.
No, I've got two of them. So what else have you been doing other than catching up?
Honestly,
is that all you've got time for?
That is literally my life right now. I'm just stood at that press non-stop, absolutely knackered every day. living
What
off
sort of
energy
drinks?
drinks.
Energy drinks, don't do it. It's too much sugar. Anyway.
It is, it's really bad for you.
What sort of jobs have you been doing? 1 colour, 2 colour, every day, not stunning? See, you've left one in the press behind for us to have a look at.
Yeah, can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it, yeah.
Big stack of hoodies, 2 colour front, 2 colour back. For
With a base.
Yeah. For
So
Grimsby,
3 screens.
Yeah. For Grimsby Town Football Club.
Oh, check you out. Official merch.
Never been to Grimsby, but
You're not
sounds
doing this so
lovely.
much. It smells of fish.
I'm not going to say that, but well, it has the logo is a cod's head, a cod head. Apparently that's their nickname or something. I don't know.
The
I don't know.
codheads.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know football, but apparently that's what it is.
No,
So-
I'm with you. I don't know football either.
Yeah. So you won't be watching World Cup then? Or are you one of those who? Oh, World Cup's on, but it's England playing. Oh, I'll watch it now because it's England.
I'll watch England. I'll support England, yeah. But I can't watch Cameroon play Switzerland, you know, at 3 o'clock in the morning. No, I'm not down for that shit.
And
But I will get, saying that, I do get up at fucking Cracker Sparrows to go watch the Japanese Grand Prix, but that's a different thing.
I know. Those days are over. I used to do. Me and my dad used to get up for boxing and F1.
I still do. I still get up for F1. I get up for F1 religiously.
It's an hard tradition to chuck, but it maybe took us, I don't know, 10 years to get it out of the system. Now we've got Sky Plus, man. You don't need to do that. Just get up for
I still need to do it. But I've just cancelled my cable that I can watch anywhere in the world.
Oh.
And do I cancel it for 3 months while there's no F1, or do I cancel it forever? I don't know.
We'll
see if
soft.
It'll be
March.
Soft. It'll be March when we start to get excited about it again.
Don't be getting our butter just because Lulu didn't win.
If he's not winning, I'm not playing.
You've had 10 years of it. You've had enough. Yeah, I don't know. So go on then, Tony. What's your week been like? Because mine's been pretty boring. I've literally just been stood at press.
I didn't get much out of you there, did I? So,
no, I've been stood at press. That is it.
I've had nightmares. I've had a nightmare week. I've told this story so many times now. Customer rings me up. Can you help us out? We're struggling a little bit. We've got no skill. Can you come down and train us? Yeah, of course, yeah. We've got this one job that we always struggle with. All right, so we've saved it for you. Awesome. And this company is a bag company, and they specialise in jute bags.
Oh God!
Now, I've covered this before. I hate jute bags.
Yeah, I do. Why would you specialise in it? God, that's
I hate
awful.
them with a passion. So we got water-based printing onto jute bags, and I mean, apart from having the texture and feel of an old man's testicle bag, then I can't think. There's just nothing there.
No.
You can't put fine detail on them because they're like a Hessian sack.
Yeah.
Getting a smooth print's a pain in the arse. I've only got one flash, so I can't flash anything. I'm trying to put a base down. I've got colours going down. As soon as something else touches it, it's just shit. But me being me, I'm like, okay, this is what I get paid for. This is what I do. I can do this. We can do this. And I went through all the theory for a full day. On the second day, I'm like, right, okay, let's get that job. Let's get it on here. Come on, it's a Union Jack with a base white and some black and some fine text. I'm like, let's get it on. Let's get it. 2 hours later, I'm like, I'm going home. What? I'm going home. I'm done.
Can't do it.
It's not. I just don't have enough time. We don't really have anything we need to print with. And, I might have been doing this 35 years or whatever. But you know what? Occasionally a job comes up and it bites me on the arse. It picks me up and slaps me all over. And I've said it before, when you're in that spiral.
Yeah.
So for water-based ink, the spiral for me, water-based ink, is temperature.
Oh, yeah,
So you need between 60 and 80 degrees to get this water-based to really behave on press.
Right.
And we're talking, if it's 55, it doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? It's got to be hot. It's got to be warm enough. If you're going wet on wet, you need that extra help from behind the pallets to get it to dry.
Is this HB?
Aquaflex, all Aquaflex.
All right, so not even HB stuff, right?
No. Didn't have any HB. They were either Aquaflex or FF.
All right.
So, high solids or low solids. So I've talked them into getting, look, you need to get some medium solids, some HB in, and drop that on top of your Aquaflex. It'll look lovely. It'll behave a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I couldn't, for the life in me, get the pallets to warm up. I left it on a preheat for 20 minutes. And something's wrong, but I didn't know what it was. Couldn't work it out. I've got the flash about this far from the pallets. I've got it this far from the pallets. Yeah. I've got it on 2 seconds, so it's continuous and high frequency. Got it on 12 seconds, and it's still not getting warm. The warmest I could get the pallets to were 55 degrees. I went out. Guy went to Screwfix and bought a temperature sensor gun, the laser gun.
Yeah.
Because I'm going, these feel really cold to my experience, but if we get a gun, we can give a number to it.
You'll know, yeah.
45, 42, 46. I'm like, I don't want to start printing until I get at least 60. Because I've gone on for ages about it. It needs to be above 60, between this magic operating window of 60 and 80. Then throw it in, it's a jute bag. And, I don't want wet, sloppy, runny ink on this jute bag. I want it to start solidifying as it prints
instantly.
On this red hot pallet. I want this pallet to take my skin off my belly.
Yeah.
I want a printer scar, like a cesarean scar, but it's not. It's a pallet scar across my belly. Scar. It's like a badge of honour.
Yeah.
So try as I might, I couldn't get the temperature in. I even went and got a heat gun. And I'm stood 4 pallets away from the flash, heating the pallets up with a heat gun. Not heating the print, heating the pallets.
I thought that a minute ago. Yeah.
And so I got them up to about 61, 64. Thought, right, okay, I can go now. But then I walk around the press stop. Right, get everything ready, load up, test them again.
Cool down by the time you're gone.
So I'm in this spiral where I've got to start at a really good friend of mine, Alex, at Merch CMT. Awesome water-based printer. Honestly, it puts me to shame.
Yeah.
It does multicolour stuff, wet on wet, and I don't know how he does it. But what he does is, right, when I press start, there's only global thermonuclear war going to stop me. And even then, I'll probably finish this size.
Yeah.
So, it gets everything ready, gets the pallets red roasting, and says, right, we're going. Even if I lose 10 shirts, I'd rather lose 10 shirts than stop and try and sort the problem out, because then I'll lose 50.
Yeah.
Because I'll lose the temperature. We lose the temperature. We stop. We look at the screen. The screen's draining, so we wash the screen. While we've washed the screen, we've lost more temperature, so we put a preheat on. Now the other screens have dried in, so we try and print them out. While we print them out, it's still a bit cold. We get pick off underneath the screen. Now I've got to stop and wash the screen again. Yeah. And I'm on this spiral. And every single thing that I do makes it worse.
Oh, yeah.
And
you can't catch it, can you?
I'm down in Cornwall. I'm 6.5 hours away from home. And when I've done this job, I'm going home. Yeah. And it got to 5 o'clock. I'm like, turn it off.
Can't do it.
Well, what do you mean? You're supposed to be here sorting this out and do it. This job is a nightmare. And right now, I could stay till 12 o'clock at night, and I'm still not going to get anywhere, because I'm in that space where I can't get the temperature that I want. If I can't get the temperature I want, I can't do it. I'd rather work for free, do them one at a time in sample mode, and wash every screen. Yeah. Because the only thing I'm losing is efficiency. They'd already worked out how to do this job at about $250 an hour.
Right.
And the boss is saying to me, look, this machine can do 700 an hour. I want 700 an hour out of this job. I'm like, yeah, it should be all right. The theory side of it saying, yeah, okay. There's no reason why you can't do that at all. Mm-hmm. I've gone through all the theory. We've got the right mesh. I've bought new blades. We've got a spider. We've got everything we could possibly want. It's all good. And we get onto press, and it's a dog's dinner. Okay, we'll try it. We'll go back, and don't forget, I'm not there as an observer. I'm there to teach these guys how to do this difficult job.
Yeah,
and they're looking at me like, "Well, you can't even do this job." Which, let's face it, it gives me more anxiety. It's not just the fact it's a crap job that I should be able to do. It's just that there's 4 people stood watching me do it.
Pressure, isn't it? Yeah.
Watching me do it and watching me fail.
Yeah.
Now, they're really, really good guys. Not one of them said, told you so. They didn't do that. But in my head, they did.
Well, so are you saying it's not even a lack of tools or lack of resources?
No.
It's just this job is just sort of just not doable.
On these dupes, at that time, no. I'd have to look at it completely again and turn it on its head. It really could have done with another flash. But I didn't have one.
Yeah.
And the way that they were getting a couple of hundred an hour out of it, they were using a heat gun as a second flash.
Bloody hell. Crazy.
So they were doing that, but it cost 5 guys and it was running slow. So the guy wants me to solve that problem. I don't want to have a guy stood there with a heat gun all day.
No.
And I want more than 200 an hour out of it. And I'm like, well, it should be okay. It should be okay. It should be okay. And it just wasn't. And I wish I could tell you exactly why it wasn't. And I've got theories in my head. I really should have upped the mesh count on one of the colours. In fact, I did. But it got to such a point, I didn't even put it in. I'd already beaten it. It broke me. Yeah. So putting a higher mesh count in would have stopped the spreading that I was getting. So getting some colours.
Yeah.
But it's jute bags. I can't get coverage with a 77 on a jute bag.
No.
It looks crap. And the only way I can get coverage is double hit. If I'm double hitting through a 77, I might as well single hit through a 55. And these are just going round and round and round, and I'm chasing my tail all day. And I put about 2-3 hours into it. They're really nice guys, really genuine guys. Didn't give me any grief at all. If I'd have been in your shop, you'd have ribbed me to death. If I'd have been in merch shops or anywhere else like that, they'd have ribbed me to death for not being able to do it. And every time, and you know what would make it worse? It were a Union Jack.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Yeah, I mean, I know I've got a message this morning from one of the guys in America, Big Dave, and he's watching this. And if he thought that I couldn't print a Union Jack, I would. Every time I went there, he'd have a Union Jack T-shirt on me. This is for you, Tony. We can print these over here. Yeah, we can print these over here. So I would have had loads of grief, but it was just one of them jobs, done it. And I think sometimes, as much as we go through the theory, the logic and the practice and the good process and cutting down the variables and all the bullshit that I normally come out with, sometimes as a job, it's just your nemesis.
It happens.
You know, and I could probably give it to you and you print it like that in your sleep. What happened? And I'll probably go back next week and it'll just work like that.
Oh, just click it, just be fine, yeah. Yeah.
To be fair, the guy that was there was at another shop. In the same sort of Cornwall area. And I walked in and said, hi, I know you're from somewhere. Yeah. You
Chippy Tea podcast.
Yeah. You came to my shop over in Newquay. And you know, when you're going, oh, were it good, were it bad?
Yeah.
He says, yeah. I'll never forget. You came, showed us how to do this job, 7 colours, wet on wet, bang, ran like a dream. Never forget it. Awesome job. I thought, all right, okay. And then when he left, he thought, can't even do this 3 colours from your water-based job.
Can't even do a Union Jack.
Can't even do a Union Jack. That's all this about. So, good-humoured, yeah. I left good-humoured, but it's really bugging me. Really,
it's a bugger, isn't it, when you get defeated? How often do you get defeated? It can't happen much. Like, it's not happened for me often.
That's the first job that's defeated. No, so there was one job. I'd have to be careful because they're probably listening. Poker Stars. Poker Stars was my nemesis. That job almost defeated me.
Is that the logo or something?
The logo, the name, Poker Stars. So if you ever go online gambling.
It's like and it got like a star and it's like all gold and casino chips and shit.
It's a spade from a deck of cards.
Is it? Right.
A spade from a deck of cards, red and white. Did it in discharge. Everything went okay, but over the course of 2,000 prints, it went to shit.
Yeah, right.
Simple job. Shouldn't have pushed me at all, but it did. On the spiral, broke me.
Just one of those days.
We spoke about the sunglasses job that I did down. The guy was sort of like, "We've got this awful job. We've waited 3 weeks for you to come and do it for us." Now that didn't beat me because I did win that one in the end. But halfway through,
you were thinking about it.
I was thinking, again, they've left me with this booby trap job, which is fucking horrible. And I've got to do it, otherwise I look like a tit. But, and halfway through, I'm thinking, do I walk away? I can't walk away from it. I can't. This is my job, is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
And this one yesterday, I've walked away from it. And because it wasn't my job, it just wasn't my day. The stars weren't aligned, whatever it was. It just wasn't my day. And I tell people this. I give people these advice. People on press and they're going, I've tried everything. I've tried every squeegee we've got. I've tried every ink we've got. I've tried every blade we've got. I've tried every mesh we've got, and it's just not working. And I say, turn off the lights, turn the heater off, turn the dryer off, lock the door, go home, have a beer, come back tomorrow, try again.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
right now, where you are now, you're never going to solve it. And I were in that moment, and it's very, very rare. I can only count like maybe twice in my entire career where I've been there, and this was one of them.
Yeah,
so not a highlight.
Definitely not an highlight. But the trouble is, you got bed minutes in your head all night as well.
This is 24 hours ago, and it's still bugging me.
Yeah, I was solving problems in bed last night. In bed last night, I was solving problems. I was on press. Thinking, oh, let me just up this mesh count or whatever I was doing. It bugging me. Anyway, speaking of boobs and tits and jobs that you just can't crack.
Where did you go with that? You were in bed.
No, not that. It's not related to the bed thing.
That needs some editing.
Yeah. Speaking of boobs and tits, you brought them up, not me. And jobs.
When did I bring boobs and tits up?
You did. You said boobs and tits. I can't remember why. I forgot why. But you literally said the word boobs and tits because out of that entire conversation, those are the only things I remember.
I think you might have misheard me.
Picked out. Oh, you said... I think you said something like, I feel like a tit head or something like that. I don't know.
I did say tit, yeah. Made right tit of myself, yeah.
There you go. So it was here. Anyway, what was my story?
Boobs and tits, apparently.
Ah, yes, and jobs that might just defeat me.
Yeah. So,
can you remember a while ago I did that screen print of that dashing lady?
We thought it would die in the doors.
Yeah, that's right. I think CMYK print, and we had the conversation that...
I showed somebody it today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, where I am today, we were playing with CMYK, and I showed them your CMYK. I was also showing them John's separations, but that came up first. And I went, oh, wow, that looks awesome.
Danny D from Flipper Sweet Pink Cup. And we had the conversation. Can't really do CMYK on black. So...
Watch this space tomorrow.
Watch this space this week, or next week. Next week, I'm doing the exact same print on black shirts.
Oh, this will be interesting. Who's doing the art?
Oh, John. Always John. John's doing the artwork. We've had to compromise. So if you remember, there were two spot colours and the text
pink
surrounding
on the outside.
Pink and blue. We've gone for white, just white. So it's going to have the same dashing young lady.
Is that because the number of colours on your press?
Because I'm limited. It's never happened before, but this year, repeatedly, I keep kicking myself thinking, I wish I had an 8-colour press.
Yeah, you just hit that limit
now. Yeah, which I've never had that problem before, but this year...
Better quality client you're getting now. You're getting a better quality client.
More fun, creative, challenging prints.
It's time for an auto.
Well, we'll see how... anyway, yeah. I'm trying to blag one, but, I might be wishful thinking.
Hey, there's many people have blagged them, I tell you. I know at least two people that's blagged them.
Anyway, we can only dream, can't we? So, I've got that to do, which would be a fun challenge next week. It couldn't have come at a worse time, because that's one of those where you want to take your time, chill out with it. Crazy mad schedule to fit it in, but...
So I just spent the last 3 hours of today teaching people how to do specialist separations for black shirts, red shirt actually, red shirt with CMYK. And right at the beginning, I've written articles about this, I've spoke about this before, right at the very beginning, if somebody gives me CMYK on a white base, I say no.
No, yeah.
But this is a job, they want to see what happens, they want to experience the whole, if it fails, at what degree it fails to, whether it's still commercially acceptable to them, whether they can accept having to wash it every 50 shirts.
Yeah.
It's quite an abstract design. It's not a photograph like you had.
Right.
It's a bit more cartoony with a lot of colours. So the chances of this job working are high 80s.
All right.
So I'm going to say, okay, but we need to do the specialist separations. And really, not even specialist separations, creating a base white, basically. Creating a ton of base white and tweaking the colours so that they're not too strong on press, knowing what's going to go strong. So black's always too strong. Yeah. They've already done it once and the yellow was too strong, causing greens where they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So knowing that information and controlling it in our artwork, and then tomorrow we're going to go to press with it.
Yeah.
This could be another one.
Oh.
No, this is a sample. So I got the one yesterday was a 350-piece both sides production run that I had to try and do in about an hour and a half. So, wasn't happening.
I should ask actually, because I know we're sort of done with that conversation. How did it conclude? Have they just said, you know what, to customer, we just can't do it for you, mate, sorry? Or are they just going to go, yeah, you know the GB flag on the tote bags?
They can do it.
It's just going to take a while.
Five people and the heat gun. So they're going to go back to that.
Yeah.
Well,
you got to get
the question was, can we do it any other way? And I did a big bollocks. Yeah, gosh, can we do this? We do this. And as it turns out, no, you can't.
Right.
So it was an odd one, right? Because it's awkward this when I talk about places I've been in case they're listening.
Yeah.
And I certainly don't want to run anybody down. No. But the guy that was the experienced printer that I'd known from before, he has to leave at around 2:30, 3 o'clock every day.
All right.
And he is the experienced guy. So he's had the pain of this job 5-6 times already. So he's nailed it. He needs another person and it runs slow. So he's nailed it. Done. Yeah. He's been through the pain I went yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, I started doing it and I'm using him to say, right, what did you do last time? What did you do last time? What did you do last time?
Yeah.
And we just about got it half right. And he went, right, I'm off, see you later, Tony, bye. And so I'm left with 4 people who are quite new to the process.
Yeah.
And there's just me. I'm like, I don't really know what we did last time. How did you solve this problem last time? Because we got some of the same problems. Yeah. So I had to go through all his pain that he's already been through, which didn't really make it any better for me. I'm trying. It sounds like I'm making excuses there because he'd solved the problem. It's just that his solution was quite costly on time and heavy on manpower. But when you add up the time I put into it, it would have probably been more economical, efficient, and a better use of time to do it his way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if it gets the job done, it gets it done, doesn't it? Gets the job done.
Yeah. At any cost sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, I sort of went back to a conversation we'd sort of finished, but so we were talking about CMYK.
CMYK on white. Straight away, no.
Well, on white base,
On white base. My answer is no, and we've been through the reason. We've got transparent inks. Yeah. We've got dots that are going wet on wet, and they run. So this job that I'm attempting to copy, we have a printed sample. Right. So somebody's already screen printed it.
Oh.
So we start to take it apart and look at it. Okay, well, here's your sample, which doesn't look very good, and here's the screen printed sample from someone else. Now, this one from someone else looks awesome. It really does. Yeah. So we start to investigate it. We look really close. We get a loop on it, and we can see the rosette pattern.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've even got the rosette pattern.
Oh, nice.
Kept crisp and clean.
But was that
so straight away that means print, flash, print, flash, print, flash, print.
It must have done, yeah.
Because there's no dot spread at all.
No.
Now I've got a press with one flash. So straight away I'm not gonna get it.
No.
And as much as I say we're not gonna get it, I'm still stubborn enough to say, but we're gonna try.
Yeah. I mean, thinking about it, that might be one advantage I've got on this particular job. I can flash it as many times as I need.
100% it is. Because when you print, you retain that dot.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're in control now. The dot size is all about your repeatability. The hard bit you've got is printing that cyan with the same speed, pressure and angle every time.
Well, to be fair, I called it a CMYK job. I think we're going to go down the route of it's a bit of a
opaque colours,
a bit of a more of a sim process. It's a little bit of a hack, a sim process hack / CMYK / whatever. It's not going to be a straight up CMYK on white. It's going to be.
I've done this before. What I do with that is I throw a little bit of white into the colours, and this gives them power.
Yeah.
So the yellow, put some white in it. The magenta, put a little bit of white in it. We don't want to go too much. And the blue, we put a little bit of white, but hardly any. And what that does, it gives them the power that's missing from the transparency.
Yeah. Well, you put your base down and then you sort of, you see, now if you, because you're going to need a good white, but you don't want to flash print your white. So if you add a little bit of white into your colours, you're sort of getting that same achievement, aren't you?
Yeah, and we've solved a problem like that before. Space Jam were one that sticks to mind. We tried to do Space Jam in CMYK because it was 12, 13, 14
15
colours.
million colours, yeah.
Yeah, and it just looked wishy-washy, no power, see-through. And so, okay, let's use a little bit of white to give us opacity and power, and let's pull the colours up a little bit. We'll still keep the red, blue, yellow mix.
Yeah.
And it worked. But again, cartoony, not facial. You've got flesh tones.
It's going to be rough, isn't it? It's going to be a challenge.
Well, you're going to push John to his limit, I think.
Yeah.
You know what you should do?
John didn't want to do it.
Yeah, I can
to be
imagine.
honest.
What you should do is get John up there with you.
Yeah, that'd be all right.
That would be awesome. If you could get John up there with you and go, right, okay, come on. I'll show you exactly what happens when you fuck up. And you can see exactly what happens when I fuck up.
Yeah. Well, it'll go. We'll see how it goes. You did bring
Wait. Can't wait for that show and tell.
Well, you'll know if it went well because you'll see it. And if I never mention it again, it went tits up. Actually, I did try. So,
boobs and tits. That's where your boobs and tits were going.
Yeah, there you go. You see.
I'm with you now.
So
okay.
I did try though as a backup plan. We spoke about DTF, and I've heard everybody going on about DTF. Oh, it's fantastic! It's amazing! It's basically screen print, but it's a transfer.
Yeah.
Fuck off! Is it shite? It's not like it.
Depends where you get it from.
Well, I got it from
so many different variations now.
Well, yeah, maybe I've not had. I'm not going to say it was a bad transfer, but
the powder
it
and
was
the
a
film
transfer.
can affect the feel.
It felt like film. It felt like a very light film.
Okay.
But you can see glow edges as well. You see, like, and
on,
the
fine text, it is there a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, because see, I thought I'm going to do this screen print. Worst case scenario, if it goes completely disastrous, I need a fail-safe. So I got some transfers in, not the actual design, just some samples off a company that could do it for me.
Who?
Innotex
right,
transfers. They do me
with
that machine, yeah.
That machine looks like that.
Yeah.
roll to roll,
yeah.
mini stamper, yeah. Backneck thing.
Yeah, they do me net labels, and every now and again, if I need a transfer or anything, I'll get some transfers done. And I'm not impressed by DTF. It just looks like a transfer. But
I think you need to get more
type.
samples from. Yeah, you need to get more samples from different people, we can't fight it, right? You can't fight DTF. It's almost a disruptor. I'm analog. You're more analog than I am. But I'm analog. I love the craft. I love the art behind screen print.
Yeah.
And if it's not screen print, it's not good enough. Which is why I don't like DTG, because it's not screen print. Where there's no skill and art in it. And then DTF comes along and it's very similar. But what it does do is solve a specific problem. And we didn't realise we had this problem. And we tried to use DTG to solve it. And we tried to use the Roland with light print and cut.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
well, that's almost what it felt like to me, only without a white background.
It replaces that, right?
Oh,
it replaces that like that.
Pisses all over that.
With
Definitely.
no weeding.
Yeah, 100%.
So when people say it's a replacement for screen printing, no, absolutely, definitely, 100% is not. But what a compliment to screen printing.
I thought about getting one.
It's a compliment to it.
Yeah, listen, I've just slagged it off. It's not screen print. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't replace screen print.
I don't think it's sold
I wouldn't mind one. I could make some money with that.
It's not sold as it. Yeah, it's not sold as.
No. This is where I think I've had some confusion, because I've heard people who have almost said it's as good as screen print.
Welcome to DTF.
No, it isn't.
Absolutely not.
Not at all.
So I listened to different people, and some people said it was going to replace DTG. So I've told the story of a shop I go to, which has 6 corny, massive 240, 280 grand machines, and those are mothballed, not used at all. And in the corner, with like an eighth of the space, are 2 little DTF machines constantly putting work out, and 2 girls that just keep it running, cut them up, press them, keep it running, cut them up, press them.
Yeah.
And so it's replacing that work.
Yeah,
so
possibly. Yeah.
I think the people that were saying that that DTF was bad are the people who were frightened of losing their DTG work.
Yeah, possibly. Possibly.
I think there's a little bit of, oh, it's not as good as DTG. Oh, it'll never be as good as this. Oh, it's crap. Oh, it falls off. It doesn't withstand a wash. It doesn't do this. Well, actually, that's a little bit of misinformation. What you really meant was, please don't stop buying my DTG supplies.
Yeah. To me, the little image in my head of what a DTF machine would be handy for, it's almost exactly the same as what a DTG would have been handy for. If I'd have had a DTG machine, it'd have been serving the exact same process as what I might buy a DTF to do, just to get those little smaller orders or, just sell transfers out or whatever.
I reckon I know you quite well now, and I know that you're second floor, aren't you?
Yeah.
I reckon within 3 months that DTG machine that you bought would be on the pavement in Crackhead Alley. Straight out the window.
Quite possibly, actually. Well, do you know what? I did swear I'll never go back to digital after the old
large
format shit. I'm not going through that shit again. It's too expensive to fix. If an head goes, you're talking thousands. It's just not worth it. For me,
I loved the Roland VersaWorks. I loved Roland VersaCam.
Oh, I love the machines.
I thought
you have to use them a lot to make them worthwhile.
Well, no, I thought it filled the gap of multicolour small run, little badges.
Yeah,
it filled that perfectly. And the downside was weeding. But once you got used to the weeding, you had to process up, it were okay. Well, along comes DTF, and it does exactly the same thing. Yeah. Multicolour, small format, complex designs. Oh, but now you don't have to weed.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm interested.
Yeah, it's an upgrade from that. It's basically that job, that market, just a bit better. You've got transparent backgrounds.
But people are using it for just white text now. So where you would normally get white vinyl, cut white vinyl, and weed it,
you're just using
the white text is coming out of the DTF printer. Beautiful.
Yeah, because that will look beautiful. That'll have a better feel than vinyl.
Yeah,
because it'll be that little bit lighter. Yeah, it's got a place. There's money bit made with them, but it's not squeezed.
No, but it's evolving. The whole process is about 2-3 year old, so it's evolving and changing and getting better. The machines are getting better. I told you, 180 machines in Benelux were just like, wow, can't believe that many have gone through.
And so it just took off as well.
Yeah, in that small amount of time. Somebody told me there's well over 100 in the UK.
Yeah, I can believe it. Oh, well, there's one on road for me. I know somebody who's got one. He keeps trying to sell me it, and I laughed at him, like, fuck off.
just buy the product from him. Just give him your work.
I should have done that, really.
Yeah, what will you charge me for it? Yeah. I'll do some samples.
Well, anyway, samples, that's another topic, anyway.
Hang on, is that on my list?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, they're in the list.
I've not had time to write any lists this week.
Yeah.
How do you feel about samples? Because I guess if you've got you can get those M&R sample machines. It's just it's an automatic that you put one screen at a time in. Because a lot of companies don't offer sampling. I don't offer sampling. I won't do a sample of your order. But then there's some companies that will. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's practical? Do you think you should?
So for you, possible? No, it's not practical for you at all.
No,
but for the fashion guys, the licensing guys, and the large blue chip corporation guys, it's a necessary evil, and it's one that people are trying to solve all the time. And one of the solutions I've seen, which I don't agree with, but I've seen, is DTG to sample.
Yeah, well, if I ever had to do sampling, that would be the thing that I'd think, well, I could have a DTG sat there just to do samples. But then I'm like, well, it's not the same, so what
it doesn't look like it, no.
It's pointless, like, isn't it?
So the big fashion houses have a guy like you with a 10-colour Sidewinder, Chameleon, double deck, whatever they're called. Mm-hmm. And it's his job to take the artwork, produce a sample, which goes to the buyer. Mm-hmm. But there is no way he's going to take a print, look at it and go, that's a bit dull. Do another pull. Yeah, that's better. So he's done 2 pulls.
Yeah.
And you ask him and he says, no, I only did 1 pull. But my first pull were a bit crap because, it's Monday morning, it's a bit early, I've still got Jack Daniels on my breath and it's a bit, I can't see straight, but I've done 2 pulls. But you can get it with 1, it's just that my first one was bad. Mm. And then he flashes it goes round, puts the top colour on, and you've got a 6-colour job, 5 of those colours are wet.
It's not going to look the same.
But he flashes them.
Yeah.
Why? Because he wants his sample to look good. He don't want his sample to look shit. He wants it to look good. He wants everybody to love him. He don't want everybody to go, "Is that as good as you can get?" No, I can get it a lot better than that. But then your production can't, which is what we should do. The sample should be a... I'll just keep talking while that falls out your ear.
Sorry, I'm back here. I'm back with you.
The sample should be a reflection of the production. The sample shouldn't be your best shirt. So therefore, a sample shouldn't be produced on DTG and then the production on a normal run. Saying that, massive disclaimer, the industry's changed. We had COVID where nobody could come out and look at anything.
Yeah.
We've got fast fashion reaction stuff where I don't want to wait.
No.
And I can't send somebody to do it. And if I just want to see a picture of it to make sure you've got the placement right, if colour's right. That's all I want to see. I don't want to touch it and feel it, which is what you get with DTG samples.
Yeah.
So I know a company who have a DTG machine and they sample on DTG and then match their production to their sample.
To the DTG sample. Yeah, that's not a terrible idea.
They're intelligent enough to know they're never going to get the tonal values. But instead of saying that's going to be Pantone 485, we put 485 through the DTG machine, it comes out as a mix of CMYK, and then we match the Magnicolor to whatever the DTG looks like.
Right.
So it's quite time-consuming, and it's one guy's job. But what it did is it stopped me buying a carousel, a dryer, and saying to Danny, Danny, I've got this 10-colour job that I need you to sample. Okay, yeah. And then this 6-colour, and this 12-colour, then this 8-colour. If you could get all them done before dinner, that'd be great.
Yeah, nightmare.
Take me that long just to clean up. Probably take me that long just to tape the bastard screens out.
It probably would, eh? Yeah, I mean, for my business, for me, it's just not possible. I just can't do it. And we 99% of the time, people are happy with a visual mock-up, not even an exact replication, because you can't do that. You have to have a T-shirt outline. You put your artwork on there. You give them measurements, and that has to do, because that's the best I can offer you.
They're getting better, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, mine looks realistic. It's not just an outline.
10 years ago, buying the mesh 3D models of a T-shirt.
Yeah, and, you get it from stock place, can't you?
Yeah, and the ink company, the T-shirt company, will give you the Pantone values or the hex values for the colours.
Yeah.
Or they'll link it to their live catalogue.
Yeah.
So you can drop it on. So it's got a lot further than just a T, a boxy T drawn in Illustrator with your logo here on it. It's gone a lot further than that.
Yeah.
I know you're still doing that, but it has got a lot further than that.
No, mine are all right. They're not too bad.
I automated the visual creation with scripts, and it was one of the best things I ever did.
I flipping tried to do it. I tried ages ago. I've tried... Some I need to revisit again, but because when I had Jasmine before she got up and left and left me in shit.
All right, it's not Jolene.
Not to dwell on it at all. I'm not bitter, but I wanted to make it easy for Jasmine to do it, rather than Jasmine saying, "Oh, there's an order coming in. Can you go do a visual mock-up?" And I have to go sit down on Photoshop and do it all that. I wanted to automate it as a PDF file. So the PDF file would be like a box with all the details, so size breakdown, print placement, all the details, just little fillable boxes. Yeah. And then the PDF would be a case of just a T-shirt outline, front, back, browse, upload your artwork. And I tried to do that, and I couldn't make it work. I couldn't do it. I could do everything apart from the adding artwork onto an existing garment outline, and maybe even having a colour selector. So that I think the technology will do it. PDF, Adobe Reader or whatever. You can get that far. It's just the image bit that I couldn't.
We're doing this 2013, 2014.
Right.
Doing this to basically draw the artwork on an artboard, press the button, and automatically have a visual to scale with all the details on.
Yeah, you can do that in Photoshop.
No, in Illustrator.
Oh, Illustrator. Yeah. Oh, like maps or something. I've seen that done. But by the time I messed about with all that, I just drag and drop it into Photoshop. Sort of defeats
I don't
purpose.
use Photoshop. Photoshop keeps defeating me. I've been using it today, and it keeps defeating me. And it's not the program; it's me.
Right.
Because I don't live in that environment. I live in an Illustrator environment, and I can make Illustrator do anything I want it to do. So I understand every button. I know what everything does, and my only limitation is imagination or my perceptions. I come over to Photoshop, and I'm like, I don't know what the buttons do. I just don't know what they do. I've had a guy with me today, and he's a Photoshop guy, and we're playing in this channel, and I'm like, I just want to lighten this little bit area up here, and I'm felt like heavy-handed, get a brush, just right, Tipex. I'm almost using Tipex on it, and he's like, "No, Tony, can I just do it there?" Didn't know it did that. Quite like that.
I was
show me again.
In reverse. But it's hard to pick up, isn't it? Because so this might offend a few people. Illustrator, I've always been a cold draw person because that's just what I don't start. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not leaving my man card. It's just what I learn on, and it's just natural. It just feels more natural to me. And the Photoshop is exactly the same. But if I pick up Illustrator, I can use the basic arrow tools and all that shit, but that's about it. I can't do it too complex. So I can never do. I've never done separations in Illustrator. I just can't naturally get on with it.
I find them very easy.
Yeah, well, I guess it's just what you learn, what you start on, don't you? And you just pick it up.
The rip does most of it.
Yeah, well, you showed me about the trick over a week. But
I need to come and see you there.
Yeah, in a way. I don't know. I mean, you do, but not necessarily for that. I'm happy with my little setup. John does the bitmap stuff, multicolour bitmap stuff, any vector. I mean, your little system still requires you to make you need to choke your layers still.
You still need to have your vectors, yeah.
Yeah. So I do the same. I just kind of do it a little bit more long-winded.
You show me Photoshop, and I'll come and show you how to get your separations out of a vector.
All right. Fair deal. Fair swap. So, other than tote bag nightmares, because you've been all over the shop, haven't you? You've been Newcastle, Cornwall. You've basically done 7 laps at country this week, it sounds like.
Oh, that was a hell of a journey, that. And Austria. So
I was
in Austria.
Oh, of course, last week.
And I wanted to sort of like go through the sort of. I went over to Austria to help evaluate a situation, and which is fantastic. You know, the fact that a printer can go over and help evaluate the machine manufacturer is unparalleled, because most of the time the machine manufacturers and engineers and builders are all technical, and they know how the 2 bolts sit together and the stress forces of the bolts, which I don't give a fuck about. I want to know how it affects my registration, how I can make it double print, and what I can do with that. So I was really
you
pleased.
Brought over as a printer's mind.
As a printer. So look, we've got this concept, this idea, this press. We've built it and we've done it, and we really want your input. Because you're the guy that uses these machines. Number one, wow, thanks, fantastic, because I've been wanting a company to do this for a long time. So the fact that they actually asked me was superb. And then while I'm there, we hit a problem. So we go back to almost my Union Jack problem, but this is a much more slow, methodical, logical problem. And this problem was absolutely baffling. We knew what the problem was, so I isolated the problem from a printer's point of view. We found it. We could find it, make it repeatable. But then we spent a good day trying to eliminate which part of the process was causing the problem.
All right.
And during that time, while we're in, I say this to my kids all the time, but while you're in the problem, and you're up to here, and the problem's like in danger of drowning you, and you're up to here in shit, and the last thing you want to do is start making waves. Yeah. Then you feel like that's the worst time ever.
Yeah, you do.
And you feel like you're beaten. You feel like you're depressed. You feel like it's like, this is crap. This is awful. And then you solve the problem. And you only ever then remember and feel the euphoria of solving the problem.
Yeah.
You don't really recall the crappy feeling you were in when you were in it. And I love that about our industry, about solving problems. The fact that when you're in it, you just can't see any way out.
No, you
can't. As soon as that little bit of daylight comes, you go, oh, done that. And then you look back and you don't remember the crappy bit. You remember I solved that. Get a great feeling of satisfaction of we solved that. That was awesome. So that was my beginning of the week over in beautiful, picturesque Kufstein in Austria.
Beautiful country. You do that, though, don't you? You when you're in that moment, it's like the world's falling apart, and you're just so stressed up and angry and defeated at yourself. I mean, you get over the finish line, and it's like, what was all that fuss about? But at the time, it's impossible. I mean, I don't know if this is everyone's saying, but I really struggle with it. Right now, everything's so busy. I'm up to eyeballs. I'm net deep, like you just demonstrated. And I was saying to you earlier, there's nothing else in my head. Nothing. My head's like this.
Got space for it. No, you ain't got space for anything else.
I'm working, and I'm working non-stop, and anything else, like, it's not getting through. And I've not got time for anybody or anything. I'm just working, because up to here with orders that need to come out, and I'm a little bit behind because of things that have gone wrong. And it's just that time of year. It's just busiest time of year.
Yeah.
And it's just
right now you're in it. You're there.
And that's exactly how it feels. Exactly like that.
You're just there, and you don't want it. You don't want to feel like this. You don't want to do this. This is horrible. This is not what you signed up for. And then I'll speak to you in 2 days' time, and they'll be like,
"Oh, yeah, totally
done it. Did it. I mean, to do some long days. I've got intravenous Lucasade, the monster dripping in here, but
oh yeah, I've had my bugger. I gave that shit up for a while. It's just sort of crept its way back in. But it's,
I'm not a big fan of it at all.
Oh, it's disgusting.
My son used to drink it, and I famously, I don't know if I told you the story or not.
No.
So my son at 16 or so, 16, 17, was Monster, Lucasade. Monster, Lucasade.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the cans, I'm going, how many of these a day do you do? 3, 4. You need to knock them on the head.
Yeah.
You know, because it's mood altering, it's face
really
breaking
is.
out in spots and that. And I'm like, and I'm doing the sort of like the fatherly thing, being an arsehole. and not to get any notice at all. So I went and got all the information of how much sugar was in one bottle. Yeah. And then I weighed out that amount of sugar, and I put that sugar on a black plate so it had a massive effect. And it's just a pile of sugar. I was like, who's left all the sugar in the kitchen? That's one Monster. I went, oh, for God's sake, Dad, can you not just leave it alone for once? No, that's the amount of sugar in one Monster. All right, I'll stop.
Yeah. it's I'll tell you as well, I'm not going to use the word addictive, but it becomes very habitual. Even if maybe it is physically addictive. I used to say a lot of years ago, well, not a lot of years ago, over the past 10 years, this all energy drinks started when I first started Flipping Sweet, funnily enough. And it was in my spare room. Yeah, Flipping Sweets, it's all energy drinks. There we go, that's the story I could have used all these years ago.
There you go, yeah.
And I remember I started...
I'm always tripping off my tits on energy sweet drinks.
I'm always flipping sweet. I always smell like and it was back in the it was bootleg days. And now
back in day. It's your turn to say back in day. It's normally my turn to say back in day.
That's one of those Chippy Tea bingo. Everybody have a shot. Go on.
Yeah.
We'll go off on a tangent. There's another swig.
Go off on a tangent. Yeah.
When I was a lad.
Back in day.
I forgot what we're talking about now. Back in day, in my mum's spare room with my vinyl plotter and my eBay orders coming in, much similar to how it is now. Christmas would go crazy. I had serious amounts of orders coming in constantly, and I was staying up till like 3 a.m. every day, cutting vinyl, heat pressing it, packing it one at a time. Now I just do the same thing in bulk, but at the time I was doing it one at a time. And I got onto Red Bulls. Thought, these Red Bulls are nice. I'll buy 12 packs in. And I had a little beer fridge underneath my desk. And I'd have like 3 or 4 of these Red Bulls throughout day. Every single day. And that was it.
Nothing good nothing good ever came from Red Bull. You know that, don't you?
No. You had to go there, didn't you?
You know, when you're drinking Red Bull, you're just cheating. You know,
You had to go there.
And it's expensive. You know, you're going to break the bank and spend more than you thought you would, and you're just cheating yourself. Sorry, I'll move on.
Put on a good buffy though, don't they? Don't they?
Anybody who
Most
watches
people
F1
listen
is like,
to this won't have a clue what we're on about.
won't have a clue what that had any relation to F1. But yeah, we'll move on.
Yeah. In a nutshell, it's bad shit. You should really not drink it. But
It sort of gives you that little bit of a sugar rush and that little high, but then you come off it. So you want another one, and you come off it, and you want another one.
I describe it like this: it's borrowed energy. So you've got a base level energy. Your body, forget energy drinks. You walk around with a base level energy. You have a Red Bull or a Monster. It spikes, but then it drops a little bit below that base level. Yeah. And if you don't have another drink day after, you get back. But if you're habitually drinking energy drinks every day, your base level is way lower. So you're not having an energy drink to get a boost. You're having an energy drink to hit your base level
to get normal.
Best. Yeah.
You just described chemical addiction.
Basically,
just described chemical addiction. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. Whether it's alcohol, whether it's Crackadelly down near you, or whether it's sugar from those or chocolates, it's the same thing.
But it's shocking how it's everywhere now. Energy drinks, there's so many different energy drinks, and they're all marketed, but to every corner of whatever. But even sport. So now, like weightlifting and bodybuilding and gym, you've got pre-workout. And that stuff's just concentrated energy drink in a powder form. And that stuff is like serious. You might as well have 10 monsters in a little tiny powder. That's shit.
I think I'm safe. I think I'll be safe. my pre-workout's not that at all.
a banana.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to ask you about your exercise endeavours? All right, then, keep that one. That's top secret.
Next week.
All right, then. I won't bring that one up then.
No.
So where are you going next week? Because you're on the road in a couple of days. Well, on an aeroplane in a couple of days already.
Back over to America. Going to go see some guys in Kansas City. New print shop, 3 pressers, ready to go. They are printing now, but they're printing with PVC-free ink.
All right.
A new one for me. I've done a little bit of research on it. Logic tells me it shouldn't be any different. It's plastisol. But the general reports from the field are it's a bit sticky. It's a bit of a bitch to print with. Right. But until I get my feet on the ground and have a look, I don't know. But the general reports I'm getting are, that's a bit horrible to print with, is that?
A bit awful. Is it?
I don't know why, unless it's sticky.
I was going to ask you, is it a well-known brand? But by saying that, you probably shouldn't, because it might not be best chuff it. You've just said, it's a bit too sticky, that stuff.
Well, I don't know yet. I've not actually printed with it. So when I got asked the question, what do you think about this? Well, yeah, it's probably all right. It's probably got a bit more expensive, because every time they take something out, they make it more expensive. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure it's fine. And I got everybody says it's shit. Oh, okay. Well, coming from my point of view, I don't know.
Well, you can't know till you try it.
I haven't printed with it yet. So I'm going to go over and see what sort of problems we're having. Because it might not be the ink. It might be one of the myriad things before the ink.
Yeah.
And if the ink's just that little bit sticky, it might be this temperature. It might be the mesh count. It might be the blades. We just don't know yet. We go through this every time. What was the problem with that job? Oh, well, it wasn't purely the mesh count, but that didn't help. It wasn't purely the blade, but that didn't help. It wasn't purely the colour order that you printed in, but that didn't help.
No, a combination.
So just changing one of those, it's like marginal gains, chasing the 10th around the track. It's like just that little marginal gain every time. Sorry, I get that.
We're missing it already. It only ended last weekend, and look at us.
I know,
Can't get it out of his head.
So until I get to know, I'm walking into a problem job basically, and I'm going to sort a problem job out, and hopefully this one doesn't do to me.
What you had
Fucking
yesterday?
old man's testicles did to me yesterday.
Those bloody bags. I used to have a customer, and he had a tea club. Believe it or not, there were actually clubs for tea.
Okay.
And I guess you can get different types of tea or something, and they used to just sit around talking about it or something. And he had a load of these Hessian tote bags printed. And I did them years ago, no bother whatsoever. And then a couple of years later down the line, when I'm a better printer, I know a lot more, I've got better inks, and I took the job on again, exact same job, repeat order, couldn't do it. And I don't know what the hell I used to do back then. Maybe I don't know what it was. Maybe the ink was just that thick that it just filled that meshing, but I couldn't repeat it. And I had to give him his money back.
You have to pay your dues, make a sacrifice to the squeegee gods.
That's probably what it was, yeah.
You have to do it, because if you've got bad juju, and me yesterday, I don't think anything I could have done yesterday would have solved that problem. And today, I'd probably nail it a little bit more methodically.
Yeah.
But at that time, in that afternoon, knowing I've got a 7-hour drive in front of me, all that crap playing around my head, it just didn't work. And I think knowing when to draw the line is still quite a good skill.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And I probably went an hour after I should have done.
Yeah.
I should have drawn the line an hour before I did.
Yeah.
But I still pushed it on out of pride, probably.
Yeah.
Pride, thinking that, no, it's not going to beat me. It's not going to beat me. It's not going to, oh shit, it's beat me.
It's an admirable, valuable skill to have, or trait, I should say. It's a valuable trait, but in some senses it can be bad as well. Like, I can't quit on things. I have to just keep going and going and going and going and going until I get it. And I'll drive myself mad if I have to.
If that had been my own shop, definitely. If I hadn't have had this gig booked today, and knowing I got all that drive, I'd have probably stayed. But it wouldn't have probably done any good. Cause
no, it won't. No.
I should have drawn the line a lot earlier and gone, my way's not working.
Yeah.
For all the bollocks I keep saying, my way's not working.
No, sometimes it don't. It's like, I mean, I could work every day now till Christmas, and I probably will. But if I just force myself, even though I know I'm not going to get some printing done on that day, to have Sunday off or whatever, I'll be better for it. And I know that in my head, but I'm not going to do that because I'm just going to drive myself to keep working.
Definitely.
But you know,
you should take the time. And go, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I need a day where I don't print, and we used to have it. I've heard of it today. The must post, urgent, no fail, drop dead, whatever phrase you use. We used to have a must post.
Right.
So there was the jobs that come in that we've promised for 7 days, but they're flexible.
Yeah.
Then the ones that they've paid a premium for, so we've got to have it. And then there's they're running on Saturday dressed as teddy bears, so they've got to have it there. It's a must post. Yeah. So we introduced a stamp, must post. And then 1, 2, this is a must post.
Oh, I like it. Yeah.
So this goes in front of the must post. This is a drop dead must post. The time I've done, I've got 8 must posts on the order. I'm like, what? Come on, it's either urgent or it isn't. And I've had it today as well. We've got the same sort of thing. You see the must post, so you drop everything. You come in early, you work late, you don't have a lunch, and just so you can get the shirt done. And then 3 days later, you see it stood in the loading bay because nobody's come and picked it up. Oh. And you're like,
I've killed myself for this, and it's still.
Or then you get the guy on the phone or the woman on the phone. It's always a woman on the phone, and it's like, I need my t-shirts. Yeah, okay, well, we're trying everything we can, but the supplier hasn't got the shirt, so there's nothing I can do.
No.
Well, and it's all like the kids in wheelchairs are all going to commit suicide if you don't make these. Well, there's nothing I can do. But these are kids in wheelchairs. How can you do this to them? Well, I'm sorry. Well, they're all going to die. just calm down. They're just t-shirts. No, these are really important. No, they're just. And I had a phrase, they're only fucking t-shirts. Nobody died. Calm the fuck down. I understand that they're important to you. I understand they're important to me as well. But if they're not here, I can't print them. Or if I've printed them red and they should have been silver grey, there's nothing I can do about it right now, but I will put it right.
Yeah.
So yeah, calm the fuck down. They're only t-shirts. Nobody died.
It's hard though. I mean, I'm the worst person for it. They are only t-shirts, but as soon as an ounce of pressure from a customer, it feels like I'm delivering life support or something.
Open heart surgery.
Yeah,
We're doing open heart surgery
feels like that.
On the kids.
Yeah, yeah, totally does. But that job I did the other week, that was a prime example of a must-post job. That motorsport job, that was a must-post job, and I did it, and I proper worked myself daft getting it done. But I got that email the next day saying we're wrong anyway. I might as well have just had a week off, burnt a grand or something, and just had a week off. Just got out and had a party for a week. I'd have been better off.
Got the centre parks.
Yeah, at least I'd have been less stressed, and I'd have been in exactly the same position because I'm anyway. But that's just life and how it is, isn't it? I suppose that's how these things work. But
that's why you're a screen printer. You love it, really.
Yeah, I love it. I love it most of the time. Love it.
You love it when you look back.
Well, you look sometimes
when you're there, you hate it.
Yeah,
but when you look back and you go, "Did that? Yeah, solved it."
Well,
awesome.
you love your kids, don't you? But you don't always like them. That's what this is to me.
Don't always like mine, though. You're right.
Yeah, you see, that's all this is.
Yeah, I get you there. My week, really, I ain't really achieved much.
No,
because I've been so busy. When you're busy, long drives. I get in at midnight, and you're back out again at 6. A bit like yourself, a bit overworked at the minute. But the alternative was 4 weeks ago. I had nothing to do, so you got to go for this move.
It's daft, isn't it? Because me and you were both in the same position not that long ago. I would feel it. I was like, bloody hell, we should get some orders in. It's just not enough at the minute. And then now
you were that bored. You started writing on walls.
I started painting my wall and half putting some floor down and stuff.
How did your screen room go? Did you finish your screen room?
Oh, that's just still in my head at the moment.
Because you're so busy printing.
Oh yeah, stuff like that is resigned for Christmas. Basically, get through this next few weeks, get all orders out the door, and then I'm going to be bored again. So that's when I'll start. I've got my ink station to finish my little, I talked about my shelves, my angled shelves. I've got that to build, floor to finish putting down, screen room. I bought
your dryer.
Yeah, that dryer. I'm waiting for a brand to send me one for free.
A sponsorship deal. You're a sponsorship deal.
You never know. You never know.
You never know, mate. You never know.
I got a couple of what do we call them? Humidity sensors off Amazon the other day, and you buy like 10. They're very small, like £20. These little boxes that have a battery watch.
Yeah,
a watch battery inside it. So I've got them scattered all over rooms just to work it out. So actually, this where I'm printing is the best humidity wise. This is like bang on 50% pretty much. Sort of fluctuates there or thereabouts. My screen room sort of 56%. So I need to work on that. I need to bring it down a bit more. And then my new screen room, where I'm going to be building my black hole generator
storage.
Yeah. That's actually better still. So that's going to be a better space for it. So that will be.
You don't know until you measure. We can't control what we don't measure.
No, you don't. You think it's all right, don't you? But
because it feels all right, and we're the country we're in. It's not really an issue because everything's fucking wet all the time.
Yeah.
We can't fight it. It just rains every day, especially now. From now till about March, it's just going to rain every day.
Yeah.
We've got to get used to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit rough, especially here at Seaside. It's a bit gale force winds and pissing it down all day. Actually, earlier on you mentioned about your flash dryer, how the timings seemed to have gone up and you couldn't get that temperature in your pallets.
Yeah.
My flash dryer, so let's just say I was flashing at 8 seconds. All of a sudden now I'm at like 14 seconds. And the only thing I can think of is just because it's cooled down that much, the air is that much cooler, it's just made me flash times a bit worse.
I went through that. So the temperature was around about freezing, but not too bad. But I'm in a big concrete building, near a door. So we blocked the door off to stop the draft, because straight away I thought draft.
Yeah.
So we blocked the door off to stop the draft. And I'm walking around, everybody's got jumpers and coats on. The dryer's
In a
kicking
print
out.
shop?
In a print shop, yeah. And I'm like, it is actually a bit cold in here. So the boss went and got one of those, those illegal space heaters.
Giant flamethrower things.
That's the jet engine.
Yeah.
It's like a jet engine in a massive colour gas bottle.
Yeah.
To warm everything up, and that did make a bit of a difference, actually.
Yeah.
We're going really quickly. I think the problem with that was one flash on a 10-station press in station number 2. By the time it got all the way around, it actually cooled down. Yeah, which is where my heat gun idea came from.
Yeah,
and I think with the heat gun, I got them to about 65, and so they sort of, once they got to that temperature, maintaining that temperature was easy. I say this time and time again: printing is all about heat management. It's about getting to that temperature and maintaining it. So getting to that temperature and not adding heat and not losing heat from the job. So it's very easy, should be easy, it wasn't for me, to add heat. So, we heat the pallets up and they get warm, and then by the time they come around again, they hit the heat again, then they hit the heat again, then they hit the heat again. And by the time we're done, we're adding, it's not like 5 or 10 degrees on every revolution. Yeah. Well, it soon gets to the point where it's too hot. And, plastisol, what it's like, plastisol, it hits that re-wetting stage at 120, and I can't tell if it's too hot or too cold. No. And the only way to tell is bring that flash right down, and you tell people to bring the flash down when it still feels wet, and they go, "You fucking idiot." Oh no, it's counter what your head tells you. It's like, counterintuitive. Yeah. So and same with the bringing closer. With these lamps, these halogen lamps, you bring closer, and you get that cold spot. Yeah. So, the light's coming out like that, which is in a triangle for those who aren't watching. And if we've got loads of those triangles in a line, if we get closer to the heat source, we actually hit the cold spot. Yeah. You've got these cold spots and you think it's not drying, it's just too close to it.
You need a little bit of airspace under that flash dryer for the air to get hot. When it flashes, it's the air that's getting hot, and then... And
for all that shit that I've just said, I tried every little bit of that while I was doing my Union Jack job, and none of it worked.
Just one of those. You'll get over it in a week. You'll be right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
When you get to America, the next job's a no-go where you'll get off it. You'll move on to that.
I'm lucky in that I can walk away from it. I do realise I'm quite fortunate to walk away from it. Yeah. But it was definitely one of those, especially when you're trying to teach people.
Yeah.
I see this skill dilution again. That skill dilution every time I go somewhere. I know the girl that was at this print shop, and she was really knowledgeable, and she knew what she was doing, and everything was great. But when she left, that knowledge stayed in her head. Yeah. Through no fault of her own, she was pretty much working on her own. So when she left it, and everything was okay, and it's all amicable, and then the time comes when it's busy again, you get some more staff in, and oh shit, I've lost that knowledge now. It's gone. Yeah. And maybe she could have done the Union Jack job.
Well, I mean, if you're a sole printer like me, what happens if I break my arm or something daft like that?
I know, yeah. You're on mountain biking and thinking it's a good idea. Yeah. I was supposed to be teaching the guy manual printing like that, and I turned up on the Monday, and they're like, massive problem. I'm like, what's wrong? The printer's had an accident. I thought, oh shit, a really bad accident. And he walked in, he broke both his wrists on a mountain bike, come off the mountain bike, put his hands down, bang, both wrists gone like that. Yeah. I'm like, well, this is not going to work. Yeah. I used to do a lot of mountain biking, and the older I got and the more into this business I got, the more, every time I was riding Dolby Forest, doing jumps, it got less and less and less, and I started getting carber. And now I'd barely go. Not got the time, but also I don't want. Now you got to sit in a tank full of water and on your own in dark. Now, no, I've become more of an hippie now. that stuff, that's fantastic. I couldn't recommend that. I'm gonna have to have a go at that. Honestly, I'm gonna have to have a go at it. That isolation tank. But I'm from Yorkshire. I'm tight. There's no way I'm going to give somebody 35 quid to lay in a bath. 35 quid to sit and lay in a bath. I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to turn light off. Chuck some salt. I've tried it. I chucked a shitload of salt in bath.
Tried
Yeah, but
laying
you
in
use
it.
Saxa table salt
Yeah, I use wrong stuff.
from Chippy.
Yeah. Well, you got to try, haven't you? You got to try cut corners first.
Yeah, that'd be me. I'd have an eye mask on, that I've stolen from Virgin Airways.
Yeah.
We sat like that, going, "No, this is not working."
No.
I feel like I'm going wrinkly.
Hey dear. I'll tell you what I said as well. I had a what do we call it? A red light sauna. Apparently, the red light's supposed to be super beneficial. Probably all rubbish. It's all just new age shit. Probably don't do that shit. But I
I'm not
enjoyed
into
it.
that.
Well, it was just
I go and sit in sauna. I really do like it. I enjoy a sauna, but just a normal sauna.
sauna's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, but you get to a point you're like, should it hurt?
Well, it's a challenge, isn't it? It becomes a challenge.
Yeah.
So I
can't do the cold water thing.
The cold water. Honestly, that is fantastic. At first, it's awful.
I keep trying, and I can't do it. I can't get past it. I'm like, this is just too fucking cold.
I love it.
Wim Hof. Something wrong with him.
Fantastic.
Something wrong with him. He goes and sits in cold water. There's something wrong with him.
There's method to madness, but it's one of those where you have to get over hurdle. It's awful at first, but eventually you start to crave it, because it just feels so fantastic. It's just that initial god, but eventually the more you're used to it, the initial shock, you don't even get that shock. You're just jumping in some cold water and you don't feel it.
No,
that being said, I haven't jumped in the sea yet. I've not desperately tried that.
It's November. Yeah, I'd like to see you going that.
I'm tempted to try it.
Dodging turds in this weather.
Well, it'll be dark.
At least it'll be solid, won't they? It'll be frozen solid.
Take out my bleeding knees with frozen turd missile.
Yeah, it should be good. I'd like to see you going there. I'm not going anywhere near North Sea in this. No.
Watch this.
It never actually gets warm, so.
In the summer it's still cold, but it's manageable, isn't it? Watch your space. I'm off it seeing a bit.
I do want to touch a little bit on the question we threw out, which I haven't had a chance. No, I haven't actually had a chance to bully anybody into it. I actually have had a response.
Have you had one from Carl?
Rudely, I didn't listen to it, which I know that's really rude, but it caught me off guard.
Yeah, no, these things happen.
And I sort of thought, I know what that is. I'll listen to that later. And but I want you to have the discussion.
All right, go on. Remind me what the question was. White flash white. Right.
So I've got a job, right, and it is just text.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy about it. It's just text. There's no graphics. There's no fine lines, and it's white print on a black shirt. Stanley Stella, black shirt. I forget the name of them because they change them every three and a half minutes.
Yeah.
Might be a creator or something, is it?
Yeah, that seems to be the standard one, I think.
Yeah. So, what mesh would you use for your first white, and what mesh would you use for your second white?
Well,
you've got to make two screens. I know you're on a carousel, you'd only use one screen, but you've got to use two screens.
So in this scenario where I have to use two screens?
You have to use two screens.
Well, I'll tell you what I would normally do, and I'll tell you what's been running through my head recently to try. Normally 42. Now, in my head, I think it might be more beneficial.
I don't believe for 1 minute you buy a 42 mesh. I've never heard of a 42 mesh before. Please
43.
Please tell me it's a 43.
43. Whatever.
Okay.
You know I've got my numbers. I don't know.
43. Two 43s.
Normally it'd just be 143, 43 print flash print. But in my head, I would like to try 43 and then a 62, a 77, a 90. I won't go to 120, so that's taking piss. But I would like to try that and see the difference and see which works the best. Whether it is just a case of the more open the mesh. Because in theory, the more open the mesh, the more ink you're going to put down.
Yeah.
But I wonder if contrasting mesh counts will increase opacity in a way. Or the opacity, opaqueness. Yeah, it's the same word.
Same thing.
Yeah, because I don't necessarily think if you put the exact same mesh on top of the exact same mesh, I don't necessarily know if you wouldn't get a better result if you just went up one and had a 62.
I'm a 43 guy. Okay, but this is basically a little bit of stubborn old guy. I've always been like that. Always have done. And the more I travel, the more I see different stuff. And now I'm changing.
You are.
So I'm a 4362.
Yeah.
So the reason for 4362 is the first one that goes down 43, but it can't be any old 43. Number one, it has to be above like 22, 23 newtons.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be a good, sharp, soft 65, 90, 65 blade.
Yeah.
And it has to be a 2-on-1 coat with a reasonable off contact so that I'm using minimum pressure and minimum travel on my application of the ink. If I've not got all those, it almost doesn't matter what I'm using.
No.
So I know with a 43, I can back off the pressure, back off the travel, which is the amount of distance I move my hands.
Yeah.
And I can kiss this white on top of the shirt.
And get a nice opaque base.
So it's not really opaque, but it is a good barrier, a good set level.
Yeah.
I'll flash that. That doesn't look bright, but it is crisp, clean-edged, and it has flattened down the fibres and it's given me a good base to print onto. Then my top colour, being a 62, keeps up with this clean edge. It gives me a smooth, soft finish over the top.
Yeah.
And the brightness that I need is easily achieved with a 43 killing the colour and a 62 on top. So I don't need the 43 in the second colour. I can get away with the 62. Why do I want to get away with the 62? Because I want the smoothness over the top of the ink.
That's an interesting
If I use
factor.
If I use 243s, it feels a bit rough.
Yeah.
I can sort of.
Oh, you had to go there, didn't you? You had to go there. I'm off.
But that doesn't feel rough because it's water based and it's printed by an expert printer. But but if I use plastisol for that, I know.
Oh yeah,
it's 100% going to be opaque. It's going to be beautiful, bright white. But if I look at it analytically from a printer's point of view, I'm going to go, yeah, but it's a bit rough.
Yeah, I don't like it.
So we up the mesh count and have that higher mesh count on the top. And although I was a 43 guy, I am now changing to a 43-62. But still in the back of my mind, when I use a 62, I think, am I losing some opacity?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe not. I don't know. It's an experiment I'm going to try at some point.
So I get the smoothness, which gives me a nice retail feel. So that's nice. Somebody once said to me, I think it was somebody in an ink company, that it was a customer who'd complained about the appearance of an ink when it was printed, and they'd gone to the ink company, and the ink company's response was, "It's Moira."
Yeah.
And I turned up and went, "It's bollocks." Because I'm like, that's absolute bollocks. Well, no, they said it's Moira. Well, you're printing a solid vector design with white, and then you're putting another solid vector design on top. Yeah, well, they said that's where I'm getting my Moira from. What? From what? Moira is the interference caused when dots interfere with mesh.
Yeah.
That's Moira. That's the screen clash.
Not vector.
And what they're saying is the pattern of the screen when it's printed leaves a little impression of the mesh in the 43. And then putting another 43 on top with a slightly different angled mesh.
You start to see a pattern. Moira. Yeah. I see what it means.
I called bullshit on it.
Yeah.
And they said if I change the top mesh to a 62 and a 43 here, I'll never get that screen clash.
Did it work?
And no.
Right.
I still call bullshit on it.
Right.
You get the interference pattern from dots into mesh, not from two different pieces of mesh touching down on one what is a wet print, heated, and therefore fills the garment. So if you can see the mesh pattern in a print, something's terribly wrong.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We don't want to see the mesh pattern. We want the liquid ink to close around the mesh.
Unless you do an eye build, where you will see it a little bit.
Yeah, on your last print, you'll see the pattern. But then to get the interference of the previous pattern, don't think so.
No. It's funny. It was almost a thought process I had when I was saying putting a 43 down and then using a different mesh to achieve a better opacity, because I was thinking you're having different mesh then. You know what I mean? You're not just putting straight mesh on top of mesh. You're having almost an interlocking. And I thought maybe that would play with opacity, but
I'd love to hear from people. Am I wrong? Am I calling bullshit for no reason? Have you had screen interference pattern just from two opaque prints, just from the mesh? Because I've seen these patterns and I don't think they're interference patterns. I think they're just bad printing techniques, or a baggy slack mesh, or a dull blade, or overheating, something, or bad fabric.
I think it'll come from so if you've got a low tension mesh, as it's peeling, it's not a nice crisp peel. I think it's a slow release, which is almost leaving that pattern behind.
Yeah, and I can understand that.
That would be my guess.
A dull blade, similar sort of thing. Too much pressure, again, similar sort of thing. Too low and off contact, similar sort of pattern again. So I don't think you can get screen clash from two different open area vector images printing the same ink.
I definitely don't think you'll get Moire from that.
Prove me wrong. Is it a Mythbuster? Is it one of Tony's Mythbusters? I didn't get angry with it, so you didn't win that one. But I'd love to hear from people.
Yeah, let's see what you have to say. The other thing as well that you mentioned there, which is interesting, the train of thought that I've never really considered, I'm constantly chasing in my head a more opaque, and we talked about this a couple of episodes, a more opaque white base, that very first layer of white, more opaque. Yeah. And you know me, I'll drive a bugger in, all pressure, I get that white down, and I'm like, I just want to get a little bit more whiter. I never considered actually what might be more beneficial is just getting a level layer. Forget opacity, just get a nice level layer over top, as you said. I think...
Use your top colour for opacity.
I think that one... I can't do it anymore.
Just say it out loud.
I think Magna...
We're way past it.
They just quote me a self-levelling white.
Yeah, and it reminds you of the stuff you put on floor before you put tiles down.
I've never tried it.
Compound.
First time I heard of it yesterday, so I don't know. I don't know if it's new or what, but
it's about a year old. I have heard of it. I'd have to get Magna involved and say, what's it for? Is it for like overlock? Like really heavy cotton.
Oh yeah.
These peaks and troughs. Does it flatten out the peaks and troughs to give us a better
basically
image?
For Giltons
or AWD, yeah. The water-based high solid acrylic has a notorious side effect of pinholing.
I was speaking to Sarah about this a couple of days ago.
So pinholing, you can boil the ink and it can be bubbles coming up if you've got your dryer set too hard. But it's also, because it's not really a film technology, so Plastisol's laying down a film. Water-based is a paste.
Yeah.
So we're not laying a film down, so we can have these holes. And sometimes we can have holes in the corner of the mesh.
Yeah.
Because going too fast. Sometimes we can have it too thick. Sometimes we can have the press parameters wrong. And sometimes we just not paid our dues to the squeegee gods, Union Jack job.
That's another shot.
So I've seen this solved in a really unique way out in Middle East somewhere. And it was basically... yeah, DTF. Print your first colour. So pull your squeegee, print your first colour, flash it, 2.5 seconds, and then the next colour, you're ready for this, mind-blowing, push the squeegee.
Oh, well, I can't lie and say I've not tried that in the past. I don't do it nowadays, but I bet you'll throw up. I bet you walk straight out. That was one of those jobs where you're like, I'm off.
I don't have a bath. No, so on the presses, certainly on the MHMs, we've got the ability to run each head in a different direction. So one head is printing from the centre of the press to the outside, and then the second head is printing from the outside to the centre. And what this does is the first pull does create some little air holes in the corner of the mesh, which will show up, but then the second print fills them in. And if it does leave any holes, it leaves them in a different place.
It's very similar to, as we talked about, you put your 43 down, and you put your 63 on. You've got an alternative, sort of like. Does that not mess with registration? Because I know if I go on that press now,
it would for you. It would for you, but it wouldn't in two separate screens. If you always push your second screen and always pull your first screen, then your register's set. Yeah, if you set your registration and then decide to push instead of pull, then you're gonna get screen bend in the other way.
Because you've got that fraction of the underbase showing. So.
Can't believe you've got me talking about pushing a squeegee.
That's it. Job done. Thanks for joining into our last ever episode. We've achieved it. That's it.
I'm a convert. Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't realise you could do that on an auto.
Yeah, you can have one running that way and one running that way. And the only reason you would possibly do it is to stop those little air holes, those pinholes. Yeah. But you got to make sure everything else is done first. You know, your tensions are good, your blades are good, your speeds are right, your pressure's good, and you're not boiling the ink and letting the little water vapour. So we used to get it, we'd put a red down, little company local to us that do sort of like really good heavy duty belts for when you want to pick something up that's really heavy.
Awesome company. What a company.
They print red onto black. And so they put the base white down, and it all looks fantastic and superb and great. And then at the end of the dryer, I've got these little white pinholes in the red.
Right. Yes. Sarah just had this exact conversation.
What could it possibly be? And speaking to Magna and people like that, well, you can boil the ink if you got it too hot. Yeah. And what happens when you boil water is obviously the air comes up. So you get little bubbles and the bubbles come up with the red and pop it, and they pop the surface.
Yep. So this is where, here we go, I know I'd have my moment. So this is where printing plastisol on top of Aquaflex, I learned that very quickly because it's way more exaggerated if you print plastisol on top of Aquaflex. So if you're underbase, if you're underbase...
It's worse.
It's more exaggerated, it's worse. So if your underbase is too hot, by the time you put a top colour on top, you'll get pinholing. You'll get pinholings, little bubbles. And it's just like exactly what you say. It's just little air bubbles, right into the surface, popping through. And then I did a job. I mean, I learned this on you get it with Aquaflex on top of Aquaflex as well.
Yeah, this was Aquaflex on top of Aquaflex.
Yeah, you get it with exactly the same. But I feel like it's more exaggerated on plastisol. So this was a skill I had to learn, and it was all about what we've just been talking about, heat management. All of it came down to heat management. And the way I resolved that, first of all, was get a flash with a timer. So instead of print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Elephants. Counting elephants.
Yeah, counting in my head. You think I'd be good with numbers, the amount of counting I must have done over years, but
I'd love to hear you counting out loud, because there's no way it goes from 1 to 10. It goes 1, red, blue, yellow, 4, 9, 6.
I told you, Tony, my head's fried today. I don't know where we am. Don't ask me to count and do maths. But flash dryer, that were vital component to solving that problem. And it was basically just, by the time I came out to put my top coat on, it was just a bit too hot. So getting a precision timing and allowing it to cool down by the time it got back to me solved that problem. Yeah. But me and Sarah from Equpress, so I took on one of Sarah's customers temporarily while she has a baby.
While she was full of arms and legs.
But she was having a wee baby. And this particular customer, so I'm doing a job that she's done in the past. And it's white with like a magenta maroon colour on top. And she was telling me the other day, she was asking, have you had this job yet? I said, yeah, it's just come up actually. And she was saying, good luck with it. It was an absolute nightmare because she was getting these pinholes. And I've not done it yet. Hopefully I don't have the same problem. But I don't think I will.
You can't now. Now you've said it to the world.
Now I've claimed to have sussed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'll be all right. I think I've got my head around that, so we should be good. But if not, again,
we need some documentation on what you're doing here, because I think you'll find that a lot of printers have this problem and this issue. Yeah. I did an issue in Images about pinholing. I don't know if it's come out yet or not, but all about pinholing and whether I can solve it or not. And one of the shortest answers was no. it can be unpredictable. It's one of those, like you say, you've got to control those variables, certainly on the heat.
Texture can be an issue as well, like garment texture. If it's, but then we go back to
moisture in the garment as well.
Yeah, well, that's like, especially hoodies and sweatshirts, run them all through dryer and then thin.
I think it was you that said run them through dryer first, yeah.
Yeah,
but, when your dryer is only 3.5 foot long, then it doesn't take long, does it, to run them through? But,
well, it does, because I have to have bells real slow just to get them all through. That's why it takes me so long to do out, because I have to chuff him, sit and watch them all run through, and then do the next shirt. It's a bit of a... But I couldn't fit one else in here anyway.
No, I told you, I could have got you a cheap one.
I was gutted. I was genuinely gutted, because if I'd had the space, I'd snapped it up, no bother.
Yeah.
Even though gas.
I keep getting these things. Somebody had an auto going for an extra note as well.
Sorry, I'm getting one for free soon, so it's all good.
You wouldn't have got it in there.
I can't. But what do you do? Solve the problem of getting a bigger space? Or get an auto? What do you do? But
I don't think you'd like an auto. I think you still like to. I think you're self-flagellation. I think you like to still hit yourself with sticks and stuff just to make yourself feel alive.
No, I honestly think the day I get that auto and I see a job spinning, I'll have a little cry, and I'll never look back. And 10 years will be like, and I'm going to say 10 years because it will be about 10 years. If I don't do it this year, I'll beat myself up for the rest of my life over it. I want to achieve that. I want to tick that box this year. And I'll look back and say, friggin' hell, it's finally with it. Because now I can keep up with production. I've got the tools to put out the prints that I want to print, and minimise that stress level and pressure. Because I think if I get an auto, I think it'll take me another 10 years before I max it out. And I'm thinking, God, maybe I need 2 autos or whatever.
It'll take you that long just to work out how to use it.
It bloody will, yeah. Because it's a whole.
Because you've got to start again. You've got to start again.
Completely from scratch. Now all of a sudden, you don't just have one flash. You can't just print, flash, print, flash, print, flash, print.
No,
you've got to send the thing all the way around.
You've got your skill now, yeah.
Wet on wet.
All wet on wet, mate, yeah. Wetter is better. Stop it, you're not 12.
What a way to end an episode. Wetter is better.
Yeah, I think on that, yeah. You only keep looking for these titles, don't you?
We've had a few, actually. I forgot
keep looking for these titles.
I'll have to look for wet on.
There's some beasts, aren't there? Yeah. Old Man's Testicles on Wetter is Better.
This is one of those episodes where I would probably have to properly sit down and edit it.
You haven't got time. Just send it. Farts and all. Right. Well, I'm in the middle of Sunderland, so I'm going to go see what delights I can find downstairs in the hotel bar. Because I'm not going anywhere else. I'm too lazy. And I think we can sign off at that, Danielle.
Aye, it's been
can't we?
It's been an alright episode.
Well, what's what we do? We have a little chat.
We've had a chat.
It's just me and Dee. And if somebody wants to join in and listen, all right, fair enough. But at the end of the day, it's just me and Dee having a bit of a whinge about what we did this week.
And let's be honest.
Slow meandering chat. I've had a fucking mare. I have had a mare. I don't want to go through that again. This guy wants my help for ongoing. And I'm like,
not anymore.
Because you might give me that Union Jack job to do again.
Yeah.
And if you don't give me it, you're going to make sure it's running when I walk in to show it. Well,
yeah, I know.
Can do it. We can do it without you.
He'll probably frame it and put it on wall, say, sussed it, mate.
Yeah. Big nosed northern bastard.
Oh, dear.
I got called a southerner today.
Well, I've got a bunch of mates in Newcastle. You're not in Newcastle, by the way. You're where the Mackems live. But the Geordies, anything below Newcastle is a southerner.
Near Mackems allowed.
God. I nearly got into a fight with a Mackem on Tyne Bridge. And it wasn't me who would have been a gobshite. It was my mate who would have been a bit of a gobshite. Yeah.
Bridge.
Yeah. In fact, I'm pointing at it now, but I'm pretty sure it was the smaller version, because I think there's a few in there. I'm very drunk.
I don't know. I don't know where I am. Is this another one you've been drunk around Newcastle and not having your phone with you?
It never ends well. Never. I have never in my life been to Newcastle and had it end well. And I don't get in these states anywhere else, but Newcastle, it just does things to you.
Yeah. I've got a really good friend from up here, and he offered to take me and a friend up and he said, look, I'll drive, but I'll tell you where to go in Newcastle because I've lived here all my life. It's a proper Geordie. We call him Stabby. Everything is, I'll fucking stab you. I'll stab you. I'll stab you. I'll stab you. Stabby.
Bloody hell.
And he showed us all the places to go, all the really good places to go for a real good sort of like down to earth drink.
Yeah.
And it's just such a strange place. But obviously, I'm not in Newcastle.
Nope, not at all. If you ever said that to a Geordie, you'd probably get smacked.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, hi, Hodge.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You go get a beer. I'm off for a bag of chips.
You go for a bag of chips. Is that drag queen that you know?
Oh, God. No.
So, I'm going to sign off.
Correct.
It has... It has been awesome. We have enjoyed it. Again, if you've got anything to say, you've got some comments, drop a comment. I will probably miss it, but Danny will tell me about it.
I will. I'll remind you. It's an habit now.
But we'd love to answer your questions. Get in touch about the white flash white thing. What do you do? How do you do it? What mesh counts do you use? I'm pretty sure we don't all use the same. And you're not giving secrets away. Everybody does everything differently. So join us again next week for Chippy Tea with me, Tony P, and...
Danny Donald, front flipper sweet pinko. Might be a bit more weight next week.
And we'll see you later.
See you there. All best.
See you there.
Stay safe. All that rubbish.
Friday night, I'm within me rights. I want a Chippy Tea.